Let's take a closer look at the narrative writing tasks on Edulastic. A reminder, we said day 1 of the test is for your narrative plan, and day 2 is for the writing. Now, if you need a little bit on day 2 to finish your plan, that's totally fine, but this is sort of the overall sequence you should follow. That's the pacing. For the narrative writing, remember, you're going to have a prompt like this. Rewrite a scene from a different narrative perspective. This prompt is a point of view change. You see in the yellow box an example of a question you might have. So maybe you'd have a question like this. Rewrite chapter 4 from a Dinka tribesperson point of view in first person. Now, that's not the question you're going to have on the test. That's one we actually have already done in class. But that's the basic idea. You'll get a question like that where you don't need to create anything new. You're just going to rewrite a chapter you've already read and switch the point of view. If you recall, that was the chapter where the Dinka need to decide, do we take Salva with us on this journey? Yes or no? A Long Walk to Water is written in third person. For this practice, when we did it in class, though, you did a rewrite of this scene through the eyes of a Dinka tribesperson. You wrote that scene in first person. You're going to use a story map. Remember, events go on the left, characterization goes on the right. You finish with a theme in that bottom box. Let's look row by row very quickly. We'll go through it, beginning, middle, and end. Based off that example of chapter 4, when the Dinka decide, do we take Salva with us or not? This is the full story map. The beginning row, you see here I capture that key conflict on the events side on the left. Do the Dinka take him, yes or no? That's the problem they need to sort out. Characters setting on the left. Any key characterization goes on the right. The middle row, the turning point goes on the left. That's another event, right? So here's the key decision or the event which changes the story. This is where the Dinkas decide, yes, we'll take Salva with us. Changing characterization goes on the right. Here, Salva is now feeling grateful that he's going to be able to join the Dinkas. Bottom row, that's the resolution. What's the outcome or result? Salva meets Buksa. They discover a beehive. And then at the very, very bottom, you finish with a theme, a universal message. Remember, you ask yourself, okay, based on the events or any character developments, what lesson is the author trying to tell me? What's the universal message to me, the reader? So here is more or less what a complete story map should look like. Let's get a quick look at how the test will appear in Edulastic. Now, your test might look a little different on the student end. This is from the teacher end. This is our example or practice common assessment. You're going to do the story map in the Google Classroom assignment. And your narrative writing as well, all in the Google Classroom assignment. Only at the very, very end do you copy and paste your narrative writing into this box. Now, when you come to the last question, this is it. The last question in the test is the narrative writing prompt. Look on the left side here. You will see that you actually get 2 options. You get your choice of which narrative prompt you'd like to pick. So in this practice test, choice 1 is rewrite chapter 8 from Naya's perspective. Choice 2, though, is rewrite chapter 8 from Naya's mother's perspective. So you get to pick which option you would like. On the real common assessment, you're also going to get a choice. Notice that it asks you to highlight the option you're choosing. Whether it's option 1 or option 2, it's up to you, but click and drag over the option you want and highlight it. Also, you'll notice that under the options, it'll ask you to go to a particular tab to reread the text from that part of the story. So like on this one, it says, go to tab 2 to reread chapter 8. That's useful and something you're going to want to do because if you got to rewrite this scene, you need to make sure you're matching the events and the characterizations. So you're going to have to go back to the text. If you just click on tab 2 up at the top, it will take you back to that spot of the test. On the actual common assessment itself, there might even be 3 tabs because maybe Tab 2 will take you to a spot for Naya. Maybe tab 3 will take you to a spot for Salva, depending on which option you choose. This will make a lot more sense once you get to actually practice it, but I wanted to preview this, how you're going to have a couple different options for the narrative prompt itself. Thanks for watching.